Right? And then we're going to come down onto our backs. So here, if you have a chair or a bench, you can elevate your feet on it, pressing your heels in. If you don't, you can also press your feet flat up against the wall. We're taking our fingertips and placing them on our hip bones. Then we're going to slide them right in from the hips. And when we inhale, we want to press our low belly into our fingertips. And then exhale through the mouth completely, letting the stomach relax. Again, in through the nose, into the fingertips. Exhaling through your mouth completely. One more breath in and out. And then keeping our feet elevated, we're going to extend our arms straight up from the shoulders and pop our hips up so they're just hovering an inch or two off the ground. Here, we're going to inhale through our nose, and as we exhale through our mouth, we're going to press through our right fingertips. So we're just reaching our right hand higher with each exhale. When you inhale, you're going to pause and exhale and reach further. We're going to do this for 5 full breaths. When you think you can't reach any further, reach a little bit further. We got this. So arms are extended, hips are up. Big breath in. Exhale and push. After 5 full breaths, you're going to relax your hips to the ground. We're going to get rid of that chair or bench and grab our foam roller. We're going to roll over onto our sides. But I have my pokey foam roller today. And we're going to bend our knees in close to our chest, like in a fetal position. Knees are stacked. And we're going to stack our arms, palms together on top of our knees. With this breathing exercise, we're going to reach with the inhale and pause on the exhale. Again, we're going to do 5 breaths on each side here. So inhaling and reaching, exhaling and pausing. Switching to the other side. Can't reach quite as far with this one. Right. After you've completed 5 of those breaths on each side, we're going to get rid of our foam roller, just putting it to the side. And, man, nothing like a breathing exercise that makes you break a sweat. And then we're going to come into a quadruped position. Shoulders are over the hands, hips are over the knees. And we're going to start out here with some cat-cow. So we're inhaling as we arch the back and look up towards the ceiling, dropping the hips. Exhale as you press through the hands, tuck the chin and round the back. Moving with your own breath. Trying to find some space in our spine. You can add a little twist in. As you arch, you could turn into one side. Turns out there's a lot of feelings in there. And then we're going to come to a flat back. Right arm reaches underneath the left, bringing the right shoulder and ear to the ground, pausing for a full breath, and then switching sides. Left arm reaches underneath the right. Back to center. We're going to do one more on each side. Then back up to center in your quadruped position. Next up, we're going to do some scapular circles. So here we're starting with a flat back. We're then packing the shoulders, pressing those shoulder blades down towards the waist, pinching them up together, around to the ears and apart again. We're going to do 5 circles coming forward, and then 5 moving back. Today we're really thinking about slowing things down and being very deliberate with our movement. Nice work. After 5 scapular circles in each direction, we are then going to do 5 hurdles here. So this is, we're going to hit 4 points with each one of these hurdles. We are going to touch knee to elbow, then come into a fire hydrant, donkey kick, and then back to center. We're going to do 5 here moving backwards, and then 5 moving forward on each leg. Really thinking about hitting each one of those 4 points in each hip circle. And reversing it. Remembering to breathe. Nice work. After we have 5 hip circles in each direction on each leg, we're going to press through our hands. Hips come back towards the heels into a child's pose. Really reaching through the fingertips and thinking about pressing the hips away from you. Inhaling through your nose, and when you exhale, think about letting your chest come down closer to the ground. Here we're going to rotate our pinkies in towards each other, so you're opening up your palms to the ceiling. And then you're going to rotate them out. Rotating them in again. And then out. One more here coming in. And then rotating them out. We're just going to flatten our hands, let them relax for a second. And we're going to walk our hands all the way over to the right. Pausing at the bottom here for 2 full breaths. Really thinking about opening up through your left armpit. And then switching sides. Arms come all the way over to the left, opening up through your right armpit. After 2 breaths there, we're going to come back with those arms out in front of us, and we're going to make some more space between our knees, opening up into a frog, pressing our hips back into it. Then we're going to round through our upper back, pressing the hips forward, hips drop, chest up, shoulders back, looking over one shoulder, and then the other, and then pressing back into a frog. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can get your feet a little bit further apart. Ooh, just an inch there makes a really big difference. Breathing into the bottom of that frog, finding some space in the hips, and then rounding forward, dropping the hips, chest up, shoulders back, looking over one shoulder, and then the other. One more time here, we're going to press back into our frog. We're not trying to push through pain here. We're just trying to find a little bit more space. And again, we're rounding forward. Hips drop, chest comes up, shoulders back, over one shoulder, and then the other. And we're going to press back into a quadruped position. From our quadruped position, we're going to step our right foot forward. Right elbow comes down towards the heel. We're not bending that left elbow. We're keeping that arm locked out. With each exhale here, we're thinking about letting our right elbow drop a little bit closer to the ground. And we're taking our right hand behind the ear, turning the right elbow in towards the left, and then letting it rotate in 5 times. Really thinking about moving those shoulder blades as you rotate. All right, and after 5 rotations, we're going to sit up into a half kneeling position. Arms are extended. Right hand is palm side up, left hand is palm down. And we're going to lean into that right side. Coming back to center, we're going to flip the palms, leaning into the left. Thinking about moving through your shoulders here. We're going to lean into and rotate into each side 5 times. Nice work. We're then going to press our left hip forward, opening up through our hip flexors and our quads. If you'd like to, you can elevate that back foot. Pressing the left hip forward and squeezing that glute. And breathing. And then releasing the left foot, we're going to shift back, hips to the heel. We're going to place our hands on either side of our right leg that's now extended. We're going to tuck the chin and round the upper back. And then we're going to press back through those shoulder blades, looking up towards the ceiling. So it's like a cat-cow upper back as we open up through the hamstrings. Very exciting. So you're inhaling as you look up, exhaling as you tuck the chin. One more here. We're going to come back up to our half kneeling position. Plant the hands inside the right foot. Right foot steps back and left foot steps forward. And the left elbow comes down towards the heel. Left hand comes behind the left ear, and we're going to turn that left elbow in towards the right elbow and then rotate out. letting the eyes follow it as it comes around 5 times. Okay. After 5 of those T-spine rotations, we're going to sit up into our half kneeling position. And we're extending the arms. This time we're starting with our left hand facing up and our right palm facing down, leaning into that left palm that's up, and then rotating. Leaning into each side 5 times. After 5 rotations, we're going to press that right hip forward, maybe elevating the right foot. Breathing into it. Then releasing the right foot. We're going to shift the hips back. My left hamstring has been killing me all week. Planting the hands on either side of that extended left leg. We are inhaling as we look up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling as we round the back and tuck the chin. One more breath here. And then we're going to shift back to our half kneeling position, planting the hands and stepping the left knee back. We're back in our quadruped position. And we're going to tuck the toes, pop the knees up, and then press the hips towards the ceiling into a down dog. Think about pressing your heels into the ground. You could step your feet or your hands in a little bit to get you there. Then we're going to lift our right leg straight out behind us, pressing your left heel into the ground and thinking about keeping your hips squared. We're going to shift forward, bringing the right foot outside of the right hand. Right elbow presses down to the ground, and then sit up and press out on that right knee. Planting the right hand. We are then going to step back into our down dog, hips are high. Left leg extends, and then the left leg steps outside of the left hand. Left elbow taps the ground or close to it, and then leaning into your left knee, pressing out on it to open up those hips a little bit. Right hand plants again, and pressing back into your down dog. Going to do that one more time on each side. So your right leg extends, left heel presses into the ground for a second, and then the right foot steps outside of the right hand. Right elbow to the ground, and then pressing out on the right knee. Plant the right hand again, and pop back up into your down dog. Pause for a breath and to press the heels into the ground, and then lift your left leg straight out behind you. Left foot steps outside of the left hand. Left elbow taps down. And then you're rotating, pushing out on that left knee. Planting the left hand again. And then we're stepping back into our down dog. We're lifting our right leg again. This time we're going to bend that right knee, opening up the hips. So you're thinking about stacking the hips. And we're going to draw 3 circles in the air with our knee in one direction. And then reverse it. From this scorpion, we're going to shift forward, bringing our right knee in between our hands into pigeon. Letting yourself sink forward into that right knee, straightening the left leg out behind you, and folding forward over your right knee. We're going to sit up and plant our right hand outside of the right knee. I'm retucking my left toes and I'm going to kick my right foot through into an extended tripod position, reaching my left arm either towards the ceiling or overhead. And then dropping the hips. I'm bending my knees in, bringing my right foot to my left knee. My right hand is going to pop right behind my right hip. I'm pressing my hips forward, coming up on the knees, reaching overhead. Opening up through the ribs and the hips, still breathing deeply. Dropping the hips, reaching that right hand a little bit further out in front of me and straightening the legs. Popping back up into that fallen star. Planting the left hand and stepping the right foot back through to a plank. And we're going to pause for a breath here. And then we're going to press back to down dog. Heels press into the ground. And we're lifting our left leg straight out behind us. Bending the left knee, opening up into scorpion. And then 3 circles in the air with your knee in one direction. And then reverse it. Finding stability in that scorpion. So pressing through your hands, hips are open. We're then going to come forward, bringing our left knee in between the hands, coming down into pigeon. Right leg is straight out behind you and you're folding forward over the left knee. Then sitting up and planting our left hand outside of the left knee, retucking the right toes, and we're going to kick our left leg through. Extending your right arm either to the ceiling or overhead. We're then dropping the hips and bending the knees, bringing the left foot into the right knee. Left hand plants behind the hip and we're popping up into our shin box extension, reaching overhead. Pressing the hips through, breathing. And then dropping the hips. Extending the legs and stepping our left hand up just a little bit. We're going to pop back up into that fallen star, planting your right hand, swinging your left foot through, back to a plank, and we're pausing for a breath. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly lower yourself to the ground. If you're not quite there, you could drop your knees first, and then bring yourself down slowly with control. Letting yourself relax into the ground. We're going to extend our arms straight out overhead. We're going to make a big arm circle here. We're moving through our shoulder blades, flipping our hands palm side up, crossing your left wrist over the right. Inhale into a back extension. Inhale a little bit further. And then release your chest to the ground. Release your wrists. And swim those arms back around to overhead extension. We'll pause for a breath here. And then we're going to swim the arms around again, flipping them palm side up, this time crossing the right wrist over the left. Inhaling into a back extension. Inhaling a little bit further, and then releasing your chest to the ground, releasing your wrists, swimming the arms back around and overhead. We're going to keep our arms extended overhead. We're going to come up into a back extension. So my shoulder blades are engaged. I'm squeezing my glutes. If this hurts your lower back, press your feet into the ground. If not, you can let them hover. Palms are facing together, and engaging your shoulder blades, you're going to bring your elbows towards your waist, and then back up to extension. And again, elbows to the waist, pulling through your back, and then back to extension. One more here. Elbows to your waist, and then back up. Releasing your chest to the ground, feet come to the ground. And we're pulling our hands in outside of the shoulders. Right hand stays in close as your left arm extends. Right foot kicks up and over. Breathing in through your nose, and as you exhale, press through your left hand. And then switch sides. Right arm extends and your left foot kicks up and over. Reaching further with the exhale. And then we're coming back to center. Hands are wide outside our shoulders, and we're popping our elbows up towards the ceiling. Chest pops up. I'm going to drop my left shoulder to the ground, looking underneath my right elbow, and then back up to center and switching sides, right shoulder to the ground, looking under my left elbow. We're going to do 2 more on each side. So left shoulder drops. And back to center. And then your right shoulder drops. And back to center. 1 more on each side. Remembering to breathe through it. We're going to relax those elbows down. We're going to retuck the toes. We're going to press it up into a plank. So again, if you're not up to a full push-up, you can use your knees to help get you there. But we're pressing up to a plank. Shoulders are over the hands. Feet are together and glutes are on. And we're going to take tiny steps in with the feet into a forward fold. Keeping those legs as straight as possible. Letting your head hang. Really thinking about relaxing through your neck and shoulders. You can grab opposite elbows if that helps you relax there. And then your right hand grabs around your left calf. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. You're opening up your chest to your left side. And then back down to center. And then your left hand wraps around your right calf. Right arm rotates up towards the ceiling, opening up your chest to your right side now. And back to center. From here, we're going to toe heel our feet out to a wide position. They're wider than my shoulders here. Still letting your head hang. We're going to walk the hands over to the right foot, pulling the nose into the right knee. And then back to center. And then the hands come to the left foot, pulling the knee into the nose. Then we're coming back to center, and we're either grabbing our toes or our ankles, and we're going to drop our hips into a deep sumo squat, pressing out on the knees. Chest is up and shoulders are back. We're going to rock into this a little bit here, finding some more space in the hips, and thinking about staying on the outside of our feet. That'll help keep us from caving those knees in. And then we're going to pop the hips up, let the head hang. And drop the hips, chest up, shoulders back, and elbows into those knees. Then again, hips up, head hangs. One more time here, we're going to drop the hips, chest up and shoulders back. And then the hips come up, hands come to center. We're going to get our feet even a little bit wider here, and our toes are facing forward. And we are going to lean over into this right leg, into a lateral lunge. Finding some space in your adductors there. Hands are inside the right foot, and we're going to walk them out into a full plank with wide feet. And then we're going to walk them into the left foot, really sitting back into it. And then coming back to center in that plank with the wide feet. And then back into the right foot. And then back out to center. When you come into this wide plank, really think about getting those hips down and pressing the shoulders over the hands. We're then walking the hands into the left foot. Out to center one more time. Then we're just going to walk the hands straight into center. We're going to come into a deep squat and then just sit back so gracefully to a seated position. Legs are out in front. So relaxing to just sit down at this point. We are going to fold forward, reaching for our feet. Breathing into it. With every movement here, we're really thinking about, with our exhale, letting ourselves come a little bit deeper into the movement. My right hand is going to come over to my left calf, and then my left hand is going to wrap around my back, opening up to that left side. And then back to center, reaching for both feet. And then the left hand comes around the right calf, or you can have it around the right foot if you can reach that far. And then your right hand comes around your back, opening up your chest to your right side. Coming back to seated. We're going to plant our hands behind us. Fingertips are pointing in towards you, and we're pulling the feet in. We're going to pop the hips up just a little bit into a crab. From this crab, I'm going to keep my weight in my right hand, and my left hand is going to come over, rotating my hand with it, and the left foot comes, coming into this quadruped position with my knees just hovering. Once we're there, we're going to bring it back. So you're in your right hand and in your right foot, just twisting right back over. And then we're going to come over into the left side, twisting over into that quadruped position with your knees hovering. And then we're going to twist it back to a crab. We're pausing here for a breath. And to change position so we have space. From here, we're going to come back into our right side. So we're rotating back over into that right quadruped position. Here, we're going to lift our right hand and I'm going to kick my left foot through. So we're doing a sit out, but we're doing it really slow and controlled. Really thinking about opening up your chest wide. And then come back to center. And then left hand comes up, right foot kicks through, opening up your chest. And then back to center. And then we're going to rotate back over into our crab. Hips are up. And then we're going to come over into our left side. Quadruped position. Planting yourself in your left hand. Your left foot kicks through, opening up your chest. And then back into center. And then your right foot kicks through, opening up your chest to the left here. And then back into center. And that was exciting too. And then we're going to come back to our seated position with our legs out in front. Maybe opening up through your ankles a little bit. Mine are a little bit crunchy there. You can flex your feet and point your toes. We're going to do a couple of ankle circles here as well. And reversing it. And then your right foot is going to cross over your left knee, turning into that left side. You can use your elbow for leverage here to get your turn further. Then we're going to switch sides. Left foot over the right knee. No, I just did that totally backwards. I hope y'all figured it out. Here we go. All right, now I got it. From here, we're going to rock onto our back. So if you want, you could just lie back, or if you'd like, for your spine, you can rock back a couple of times. For some people, that feels good. Some people hate it. Then coming to stillness and planting your heels. We're going to pop our hips up into a glute bridge and squeeze those shoulder blades in together. My feet are just about hip width apart. Right hand reaches for the right ankle and the left arm reaches across the body and overhead. And then back to center. Left hand reaches for the left ankle and the right arm reaches across the body and overhead. And back to center. We're going to do 2 more on each side. After 3 on each side, we're going to drop the hips. We're going to hug our knees into chest. We're going to do 1 at a time, extending the opposite leg. Then with our right hand, we're going to grab our right foot. And we're going to extend it. Extend that left leg straight out in front of you as your right leg extends up towards your head. Straightening that leg as best as you can to open up through those hamstrings. And then if you can turn it out to the side. And then back into center, bringing both knees back into your chest. Left hand grabs the left foot, extending both legs. Ooh, in opposite directions, breathing into it. And if you can, opening up that left hip to the side. And then we're coming back into center. And we're going to roll over onto our right side. If you still have your foam roller handy, you're going to straighten your right leg underneath and your left knee is going to rest on that foam roller. If you don't have your foam roller handy, you can just stack your knees. That's fine too. Here I'm supporting my head on my arm, and I'm going to reach my left arm. So this is my top arm. I'm reaching it out straight up from the shoulder with my fingertips on the ground. I'm going to draw a circle around my head, keeping my fingertips on the ground as long as I can, opening up the chest as you come around, 180 degrees, pausing for a breath with your chest and shoulders open, sandwiching it back over to the start, and then again, drawing that semicircle, opening up the chest, bringing it back over to the start one more time here. Ooh, and then we're going to switch sides. So now I'm lying on my left side, my right arm starts straight up from the shoulder. You might find that one side is tighter than the other. You will probably find that one side is tighter than the other. How about that? Opening all the way up into it, breathing deeply, and then bringing it back to the start. 2 more times here. Just once more. After 3 of those rotations on each side, we're going to come onto our backs again. We're hugging our knees into our chest. We're then going to bend our knees at 90 degrees. So you could do this, you could grab your feet from the outside here, or if you'd like to deepen the stretch a little, you can reach through your knees and then grab the outside of your foot. We're going to finish up with a little happy baby here, opening up the hips, maybe rocking side to side, breathing into it. With all of these movements, we want to get into it. We want to get into the pose. Often we'll panic, our heart rate goes through the roof, we start to sweat, and we want to breathe through that. We want to breathe until we calm down into it. Finding some space in it. And then we're releasing the feet and the legs. Letting our hands fall to the ground and just relaxing into it. With each exhale, thinking about letting all of yourself just melt into the floor just a little bit more. Just really letting yourself be heavy in We're going to come back to our breath from the beginning, where we're inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our mouth, and then inhaling through your mouth and exhaling through your nose. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your mouth and exhale through your nose. And that's it. Nice work, everybody.